class yesterday, we looked at rounding decimals. You guys did an amazing job with that. And in problem K, you guys did an amazing job rounding decimals there. Yesterday, you looked at place value, and we're building on that today. Today, we're going to be comparing decimals and ordering decimals. We're going to be looking at ordering two decimals, comparing two decimals to each other, and then also categorizing and ordering multiple decimals in order from largest to greatest and smallest to largest. When we're ordering two decimals, we typically use what is called an inequality. An inequality basically means not equal to. So it could be less than or greater than are examples of inequalities. If the decimals are the same, sometimes we'll use an equal sign just to describe them that way. Let's look at a few examples. So if I've got 5300ths and I want to compare that to 4100ths, I can use an inequality to describe them and compare them. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put those decimals vertically to compare them. Having graph paper sometimes is nice because you can put one of the numbers in each of the boxes. And when we are comparing those two numbers, we can look left to right just like we read. 0, 0, they're the same number so far. Decimals are lined up. Now we look at our tens place, which is one is a 5 and one is the 4. The 5 is the larger number, so we're going to write our inequality with the larger side facing the larger number. That means greater than. So 5300ths is greater than 4100ths. Some people might remember it as an alligator. Let's look at another example. So if I've got 5500ths, compare that to 5/10. We're going to do this the exact same way. We're going to vertically put those together so that we can compare them. We'll look here, and I've got 0, 0, so they're tied. Got my decimals. I look at my tens place, and it's a 5 and a 5. They're still tied. What should I do? Stinky? Right here? Yeah, so you can add a 0 on there. Now when you add that 0 on there, now you can compare them. So it's a 5 and a 0. So this one is going to be our larger one. So that means some people make Pac-Man, is eating the larger number there. Let's do one more example like that. Which one of those decimals is going to be larger? Carly? And how do you know that?
So we head over to next case, the ones for
Good vocabulary. So she said when we get over to the tens place, the ones place is a tie, isn't it? Alright, so we can't tell which one's bigger by the ones place. Decimals are lined up, and she said by the tens place we can tell that that one's going to be larger. Do we agree?
Sure.
I do. Great job. there are going to be times where we have a lot of decimals that we have to order. And we might have to put them in order from, let's say, smallest to largest. If you had a machine that could only accept certain diameter equipment, and you needed to classify the equipment by size, it might help to be able to identify and categorize them smallest to largest. So if we had a bunch of equipment that had these diameters, we'd have to be able to classify them by size. When we classify, or when we order these from smallest to largest, we're going to do this the exact same way we compared two decimals. We're first going to line up the decimals vertically. Once we have them lined up vertically, then we can put in those placeholders so everything's the same length. Everything's to the thousands place. Now that everything's to the thousands place, we can start comparing them. There's a 6, a 0, a 0, and a 3. So obviously one of these two in the middle are going to be the smallest. So 0, 0, and then 6, 6, so those are still tied. I've got a 2 and a 0, so that means that this one right here is going to be my smallest. So this one will be then my second smallest. Now I can compare these last two. There's a 6 and there's a 3, making this one my next smallest, and then 6/10 being my largest. And you can just put the numbers up above those, just to kind of clean up the problem. Let's look at one more example, ordering them from smallest to largest. Let's take the numbers, these numbers here. So do what we just did above and order those from the smallest to the largest. I think they got it. Max, how'd you do it?
The biggest and the largest one was 0.1.
Uh-huh.
The smallest one was 1,000.
Okay, so you just found the largest one first. Yeah, the largest one is here. It's the 0.1. It stands out. There's 4 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4 different decimals. So yeah, you just mark that one as the largest one, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. And you're saying that this one here is the smallest? So if you look, it goes 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. So that one there would be the smallest. So then now you got to decide which of those two is going to be the second smallest. How do I determine which of those is going to be the smaller one? Anybody else want to join in that? Matthew?
What was the last number?
So they're tied for this, for the 10th place, for the 100th place. So you have to look at the thousands place here. Here it's a 0, but here it's a 1. So this one's going to be smaller than that one. Good. And so then if you were to write those out, you got, this one would be the second, this one would be the smallest, this would be the third smallest, and then the fourth would be the largest.